This is John and Anton Royce. These are my new brothers from another mother, and uh, we are working on the DRAGN Grill. Wanted to give an update of our progress so far. We met in, when did we meet?
February in Fort Worth.
February. That's right. We'd started talking on the phone in January, though, didn't we, or before that?
Yep.
Okay. So let's jump right to it. Let's go right back to the beginning. I want you to tell me if I remember right. Anton got the seed in the head and came up with this idea
right from the beginning.
Well, actually, John sent Ron Lynch an email from
I'm talking about from the very beginning. I want to talk about the idea, where that got started. We're going to get to the tipping. Sorry. Oh, nice. You guys are still on call with your exterior business, so
yeah, no worries.
But yeah, I want to hear about the inception. I want to hear about, we've not talked about this in front of the Dragon Clan or most anybody else. So I want you to tell me the backstory.
We're seamless gutter installers. So we're like we're job site workers. And so we were at work one day, and this was something else. This was something different for us, not what we usually do, but we were putting a roof on one day.
Yeah.
So we turned into roofers because we had some investment property that we bought. And we had to leave the job site because we were hungry, went to lunch and got back. And when we got back, we had jumped out, but we still had our drink cups, and Anton dropped his tailgate on his pickup, and the plastic bed liner on the pickup kind of had a grates look on it. And what did you say?
I said, why can't my tailgate just be a gas grill?
Because then we could have just eaten right there.
Then we could have plugged in and eat.
In that moment, in the next 15 seconds, my whole life unfolded from then to now, and I could see the whole thing. I thought that is freaking brilliant, and if we can figure out how to do it, people will buy it. Because I wasn't even like, to be straight up honest, I didn't even have a gas grill at home. I don't have a deck or a patio at the time, and I didn't have a gas grill. But and I wasn't like super into gas grilling, but suddenly I wanted one. I wanted my tailgate. I wanted to grill on a tailgate. It just seemed like, we're very much pickup people. We've always had trucks for work and stuff like that. And it just seemed like that would work for us as contractors. We always have a crew. We always have people working with us. And we tried it, so like once we started messing around and grilling at work and things like that, it turned the job site into a party. I mean, morale went through the roof when we started grilling on the tailgate just to see if it was a thing. It's a thing.
And that 15 minutes after I said it, John went on and on and on like this about it's a $1 million idea, and you can already picture everyone buying and having it on their tailgate. So now we're back up on the roof, nailing shingles down. And John's like, but that was your idea. Good idea. And I was like, well, I don't want to do it alone. You want to do it with me? And we shook hands and said 50-50.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That's fantastic. So you had the idea, but then, you wouldn't wake up the next day and manifest it. What did you guys do to get something where you could cook? And how long was it between when you had the idea and you actually made you started messing around with prototypes?
It was embarrassing.
It was a while. I mean, after we had the idea, we finished work, went home to our wives, told them about the idea, and, our wives were like, oh, that's a great idea. And then
we probably made some phone calls, made some sketches.
Yeah, we probably sketched it out on paper a whole bunch and kind of just.
It was a lot of talk. It was a lot of talk and thought. And some progress that we made before we really had made any progress was we eliminated some of the bad ideas. I mean, the first thing was we're going to replace a truck's tailgate with a tailgate that is actually a grill.
Yeah, the grill is going to be.
And the internals, the plumbing, all can be inside that tailgate. And that was just like, the more we were like penciling on that, it's like, whoa, these things are probably going to be $6,000 or $7,000, and we're going to have 19 different versions of it because there's too many different kinds of trucks.
Yeah.
So we had to throw that out the door, and then we just settled on.
And that was kind of crushing.
That beat us down a little bit.
That we're like,
it's not going to work.
So it's like, well, it's gonna have to be a grill that like clicks into the tailgate. And I was like, well,
that came later too. We're okay, we'll just attach one to it, and then we talked about that, and we're pitching that at friends. This grill is going to be permanently attached to your tailgate, and we're getting kickback from the people we were talking to about it, like Leif and others. Like, well, what about? I mean, I'm going to throw some lumber in. I'm going to throw it over the top of the grill. I'm like,
quick detach.
So yeah,
and then we're doing new sketches, and by the time we got to this point, I kind of was like super disappointed and like
probably not gonna work.
Like, kind of looks stupid. But it grew on us, and then we started coming up with names. Went through our names list.
Yeah, but probably a year went by, and we were all talk, BS, all talk. Probably a year, and finally we're like, come on, are we all talk or we're going to do something? And we didn't know what to do. So I think what do we do? Just go buy a grill?
Yeah, we went and bought I went to Home Depot and bought a $99 Brickman countertop gas grill. Brought it home, cut the legs off of it.
We started cutting pieces off of it.
Then we went and met up with a buddy in Minnesota who is kind of a design engineer type guy, and took the tailgate off my truck, put it in his garage. It's the dead of winter. I think it's December. And we just put this gas grill on the tailgate and screwed it down with gutter screws.
Because we're gutter installers, Siemens gutter guys.
And then we fired it up and cooked on it for 2 hours to see what would happen.
Oh, actually, we've got great content.
Yeah, we got video of that.
Thing.
We did melt the bed liner on my truck, so that was a great first test.
That was important.
That's how we knew we needed to have an air gap between the base plate and the bed liner.
The protective heat shield, that's where that came from.
Yeah, the heat shield.
That first
melted
experiment. Because we didn't want to melt people.
I want to see those videos.
Oh yeah, I'll find.
Yeah, we've got pictures and video from that day, and yeah. So after we were done with that, I mean, we just stared at it. We just stared and stared at it. Now we're all jazzy and we're all fired up, and we put the tailgate back on the truck and went out driving around. We're driving around that little town, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and we're looking behind us because we just can't believe there's a grill mounted on that tailgate. It was so exciting.
Yeah,
like we couldn't stop looking at it. It's like, oh man, like there's a tailgate. There's a grill mounted on the tailgate. It looked brilliant. We loved it.
And at this point, it was called Gator Grill.
The whole concept,
GATOR Grill, Gator Grill.
Yeah. Even though most people didn't get the connection we were trying.
Everyone
to
was like, "Oh, you guys into alligators?" It's like,
no, we're not alligators. You know.
Gators.
Are you guys gators?
Eventually, we came. Yeah, we're not Florida Gators fans.
Yeah, we got
North Dakota.
Gotta ask that a lot too. Are you guys Gators fans? No.
So now you've got your first, what I call a Frankenstein prototype, and then what did you do? How did you take it from that point to the next point?
I think we had that on the tailgate.
We cooked on it. We experimented. We cooked on it. We cooked for crews and things like that.
It might have been close to another year though.
Before we ever went and got that sheet metal. Yeah. So
but it was,
we're busy guys. I probably had half a dozen kids at the time, and we had a failing real estate venture that was falling apart on us. The oil patch was starting to slow down.
There's never a slow moment.
Yeah.
But with that Frankenstein prototype on the tailgate, we did that in December. And then we kept planning in our heads, and
probably the next fall.
It was the next fall. I mean, we went through a whole summer. We used it all summer and spring, used it on job sites at the lake. And this $99 grill. Now, okay, it was a countertop grill. So bought from the store, the hood had latches. The grates were kind of latched down. So it was kind of already...
It had a lot of the design stuff that we needed for it to be able to be up vertical.
Yeah, and it survived on the tailgate because everything was fastened down good. So,
but the body was getting beat up.
Oh yeah, the body was getting rusty.
So we knew that, okay, well, it's not tough enough. It's not going to like survive the rigors of being in a truck bed.
Right.
And so
The one other problem was it was just dumping all the grease
dumping grease all down
right
the
onto
tailgate.
right down my tailgate, like, you know, swinging strands of fat coming out of my tailgate going down the road. It was kind of gross. So we're like, okay, we have to have
Some issues.
well, we have to have a custom drip tray that can catch it when it's vertical. Anyways, so yeah, that, and also realizing that it was not going to survive the elements, because we're in North Dakota, 100-degree summers, negative 30-degree winters. We had kind of gone through those changes, and the grill was looking pretty
Ratty.
Yeah, pretty ratty.
So being that it's a truck product.
Was it your idea or mine? Or
I think I held on to it pretty tight. I don't know if I thought of it at first, but it's been absolutely my mantra that this is what needed to happen. This thing needed to be trucky. It needed to look like it belongs on a truck. And so thought maybe it would look really nice if it was made out of like the same thing as a truck toolbox, polished aluminum diamond tread. So we talked about that for probably weeks or months, how the exterior of our grill needs to be diamond tread. And then it seems like we always have these spurts of progress about when we get about sick and embarrassed of ourselves for lack of progress. We get about fed up with ourselves and we're like, we're going to do something.
It's like, we're going to go in the garage.
We're either a bunch of pansies or we're going to do something.
Yeah. So we usually just go in the garage and stay in the garage till something gets done. And we do that once a year.
And I'm really lethargic. Like, I hate projects. Antoine's great at getting projects done and things like that. But like, it's just like my garage is a disaster. I don't do projects at home. My wife wants me to build I built bunk beds last Christmas and it ruined my Christmas. And they're beautiful bunk beds. They turned out great. I had a horrible attitude because I hate projects. So finally Antoine takes the initiative and is like, hey, we're going to go buy some, whatever it's
diamond tread.
We're going to go buy some diamond tread. And we're going to mount it on this grill. I'm like, fine, let's do it. So we went and bought a 4x8 sheet of 1/8 inch thick diamond tread aluminum from Gerdau Metal recycling place.
Must have been
1/8 inch? No, it had to be 1/8 inch.
1/8 is so big.
That's not 1/8.
That's an 1/8 inch.
That's quarter.
That's an 1/8 inch.
It's either 16th or 8th. I'm pretty sure it's 8.
I saw a tape.
That's okay. Anyway, so let's say it was a 8 to a 16. Oh, this is great.
It's the 16th.
Okay.
No way.
Dude, we bent that stuff.
Okay, it's 16.
16th.
Okay.
So, yeah, we went and bought this sheet. We bought a jigsaw, and I think we bought a rivet gun.
Rivet gun and a bunch of nice, shiny pop rivets.
Yeah.
And we probably brought all that stuff down into my dungeon garage, my downstairs.
Yeah, dark.
I've got a 2-story
cold
garage in the back of my house, so it's an over-under garage, and we went down into the dungeon garage.
I think it was the dead of winter and it was freezing. So
Yeah,
I think we had a little space heater in there. Because we had gloves on and stuff.
Probably 9 o'clock at night by the time we had the materials and the tools.
Yeah,
and everything down in there.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, Braxton, he helped us out all night too.
Yeah, he stayed with us till 3 a.m. when we had finally cut up. We took all the hardware off that Brinkman grill and, measured and cut parts to fit. And then we're bending them with a hand, like pounding on stuff with a hammer and bent and riveted all together. And you can't believe the pictures. Like, by the time we had this thing plated with diamond tread aluminum, we were losing our minds. It was so beautiful.
Yeah,
and it blew our minds.
Is that one that we have here, or do I have a copy of that?
No, that one got stolen.
Oh, that's right. It got stolen. Tell me about that. Where did it get stolen?
I'm thinking about posting ads.
Just try and find it.
Yeah, like I would give a good reward to get that, or we can make a new one. But I want that to go back so bad.
Yeah, that one. We have a fifth wheel camper, like a gooseneck fifth wheel camper, and with the grill and the tailgate, I have to remove the grill to back up and hitch up to the gooseneck.
Yep.
So I took the grill off, hitched up to the camper, delivered the camper somewhere, dropped it, and then, this grill is still attached with gutter screws. So I was like, I'll do it later. So then I went and parked somewhere that night, and it was at a job site somewhere. and came back to the truck in the morning, and the grill was gone, which is
super disappointing.
Yeah.
pretty big. We knew that wasn't like ever going to be used for anything.
Right.
It was just
It
a proof of concept, but
it was the first time and first one, and well, I mean, now you have proof of concept.
Yeah.
Other people liked it so much, they'd go ahead and steal it.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we bought another grill, a little Solaire grill. It was like only this big, and it was infrared. It was a little infrared burner.
Oh, yeah.
We'll send these to him.
Is that the original?
Yeah, this is the original, the first one we made, and I think it's gorgeous.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, send me that. I love the knobs on it too.
Yeah, we'll send those.
Okay.
Anyways,
I've seen some of those videos or some of those things, but I hadn't seen that one right there.
Yeah, these are on the Gator Grill Facebook page. That is now, not a thing.
Okay, so
anyways, this little Solaire grill, which had an infrared burner, we also cladded that one in diamond tread, and
It was half the size though.
it was
tiny.
It was half the size, and the burner was so hot, and I felt like we couldn't control the heat super good because it's this huge infrared burner on a small cooking space.
Blistering hot.
Yeah, it was like making our brats blow up.
Oh, just not enough heat control.
Yeah, so but that was also a great experiment because now we go, all right, gas or infrared burner. Well, we're gonna stick with gas because
Conventional.
it's just more manageable.
Yeah,
we thought.
Okay, so you've got the prototype. I know you guys have been through how many prototypes now you've built? 3, 4?
3, because after that one got stolen and that was our baby, then we got in a funk again because now we didn't have our prototype, but it was tested. We knew it would work and things like that. We knew what the problems were, so we had a lot of value that we learned from prototype situation.
And you had come up with some interesting ideas for the hood, a collapsible hood, and you had Victoria do some really nice sketches of how you wanted this hood to work.
Yep. So we're starting to invent some different innovations because we didn't want it to take up too much of a footprint in the truck. We didn't want it to be this, 13-inch tall profile thing that was going to take up 13-inch footprint in the truck bed. So we came up with a design where the hood would collapse down so that would be more compact when it's not in use and things like that. And it's an element that maybe we're not going to wind up using in the end, or who knows, maybe we'll bring it back.
And to get into some of the discouragement, John's doing a good job coming up with these ideas. Victoria, his wife, is sketching them out nice. But we're in North Dakota, and so we don't venture out very much because we're so busy working here. And so John kind of talks to everybody he thinks might be useful or something like that. And it's like nobody up here knows how to help us.
I wound up talking to like Bobcat manufacturers. We manufacture Bobcat and John Deere tractors and stuff like that here. And that's the sort of people I was trying to talk to. And I wound up going to, we got real discouraged. And then we actually got on a video call with Jamie Cross, who is the owner of MIG Soap and Body Company. And she was just going to try to help us, rescue our momentum a little bit and help us talk through, okay, where is the project at? What do you guys need? And she was going to help us talk through it. And by the time we were off the call with her, we sort of felt like that what we learned was we needed to find out some very important things like what is our cost of goods going to be. Now, in hindsight, we still don't know that, but
not yet. We're close.
But what it sort of revealed is, okay, we need to get definitely like more of a manufactured, more of a factory working on this thing. So I don't know if we knew exactly what to do when we got off that call, but we had energy again. We had energy like there needed to be something going on. So what we did, and I don't know if what we did was I went to a local machine shop and started pitching, there's a pretty technological local machine shop that could make pretty complex parts and things like that for the oil field or for train cars and things like that. Pretty big shop. Yeah. And so they, I brought them just my sketches and stuff like that. And they said, yeah, they could help us. And then didn't it take months and months?
Oh yeah. Like 3 months. I mean, months when I moved to a different
Yeah,
city.
and I had to just hound them. And I'm like, do you guys need money or what do you need? You know, like, do I need to bring some money in? How do I get some progress made on this design? And in the end, I think they had like a 45-minute CAD design that before they started actually cutting pieces. I mean, like it wasn't super, advanced by the time they started just machining on it. But yeah, so probably 6 or 8 months and almost $7,000 later, I had a machine shop made prototype with the elements that we talked about. This one could catch grease. This one had a protective heat shield for the tailgate. It wasn't great, but it was solving some of the problems from our previous prototype or whatever. And that's what that gave us energy to keep moving the ball forward, or whatever. And then we didn't know what to do.
Well, that one's this one, isn't it? Isn't that this here?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's what they made for us. And we still have that one. We still cook on that one. But we still had no clue. I mean, so like I tried to talk to them about, maybe how do I scale this now? I'm like, all right, well, obviously I can't pay $7,000 per grill, but they were just telling me, oh, we're the wrong kind of shop or the wrong kind of shops. So then I'm thinking about, well, what do I need to do? Take your design. And my next stop was going to be taking their CAD program and taking this prototype to the John Deere and the Bobcat factories and seeing if there might be an engineer at one of those places that could help me with a next step or something like that. But before that happened, I wound up buying tickets to go to the Freedom Fastlane event in Austin, Texas, because at the time I was interested in marketing. I was, starting to, in my mind, I'm already ahead of, the design process. I'm trying to think about, well, how are we going to sell the thing? And so I'm following guys like Ryan Daniel Moran and Gary Vaynerchuk and some of these guys on Facebook. And so I wound up buying tickets, $1,000 a piece for me and Anton to go to this Ryan Moran conference, Freedom Fastlane. And at first at that conference, we thought we were at the wrong conference because Nathan Lacka was speaking. I was going 1,000 miles an hour, and I thought, oh my gosh, we might have made a big mistake coming here because I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah. Neither does me.
But it got, yeah, he was crazy. But I got better, and then by the time Ron Lynch was speaking, we were like, this guy knows what we need. And so I stalked him to the urinal in the bathroom.
It's the best part of the story.
And I stuck out my hand and met him. And
outside of the bathroom.
Yeah, like I didn't like other people had paid for access to, to the big wigs at the show, but I hadn't. So I knew I only probably had a couple minutes and I was stealing it at that. So I showed him the pictures, like what I just showed you. I showed him a few pictures. I'm like, here's where we're at. Here's where we're going. Here's what we're thinking. Got no idea what to do next. And he gave me like 5 things. And I wrote them all down. And I thanked him for his time and said, I'm going to write down everything that you said and we'll execute. So watch for us hitting the market. And I turned and walked away. And he called after me and said, hey, if you're going to be conniving and stalk a guy to the urinal, you should at least get his email address. And I turned back around and said, I'll take your email address. And so I was really encouraged by that because I thought, man, maybe he thinks this is something. He wanted my email address. And then so the conference is over and we had learned so much about Amazon sales and things like that. We actually went home from the conference sort of forgetting about the grill, thinking that we needed to be in Amazon. We needed to like just source some product and get something going on Amazon sales, or that's what we were thinking.
Kind of just to learn the game and
yeah.
dip into the retail.
I mean, like we heard such amazing stories and, met amazing people. Brendan Morris was really inspiring and things like that. So, so I was kind of shocked. And then about a week later, I waited probably a week before I actually sent Ron Lynch an email. And when I sent him that email, I just sent him a couple pictures of my grill, just reminded him who I was, said, hey, it was great meeting you at the conference. This is who I am. I wrote down everything you said and, I'll touch back with you when we've gotten some of that stuff done. He recommended doing a Kickstarter to get some notoriety, to get some press, and then maybe pursue a license deal or something after that was his idea. But anyway, So I sent him that email like 8 or 8:30 in the morning, and then I didn't check my email until like 10 o'clock. And by 10 o'clock, I'd gotten not only an email back from Ron saying, "Hey, yeah, it was good to meet you. Here, I got this guy, Rob Hendrickson, that should help you." And then the next email in my inbox was from you saying, "Hey, yeah, here I am. You know, what should we do?" You know, and you just knew what to do. And that was like, this is probably what we're getting to. This is why we're doing this interview right now, because from that moment to now, we've made 10 times the progress of everything we had before then, because here was a guy who knew what to do.
Right.
I'd called all the lawyers that I'd ever worked with in my exteriors business, said, "Hey, can you get me an NDA?" You know, I knew that was important. And they were like, would not give me the time of day. None of my attorneys knew how to write an NDA. And so here's Robo offering to send me one, and he would already sign it and could talk to him. And so like, felt very comfortable that, you know, because, you know, inventor mentality, there's a lot of suspicion, of course, always with inventor mentality. It's like, well, who's this guy? Why does he want to help me? And you know, somebody's going to steal my idea, you know? So like, there's always a lot of that.
We're over that now, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Now that we're another year in, and it's like, it's so hard to invent something and make it.
It
like
seems silly.
We used to like be so hush hush about this grill idea because we thought one of our buddies was going to go make it. It's
Right.
like,
no, it's really hard. It doesn't matter who you tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, I think maybe Ron Lynch is one of the only guys I would have worried about telling without an NDA, but
we're
he
sick of it.
Yeah, he seems like he could get something made pretty quick.
But no, I read that NDA and it made me feel really comfortable. It looked like, hey, whatever I share with these guys about my idea looks like they can only help me with it. And so we just like, well, we're sort of a lot of nowhere so far, so it can't get too much worse. So let's move forward with these guys and see what happens. And
yeah.
Well, awesome. Yeah, we have made a lot of progress. And on my end, you know, whenever I meet with someone and discuss their idea, two things. One is it's very common for inventors and creative people to, you know, they're very shy about sharing their idea. They don't want people to steal it. But then they realize the ideas are the easy part.
yeah,
Execution is a bitch. And once you sort of go down that pathway, plus most of the people, me and Ron Lynch and those kind of people, we don't make our money stealing from people. You know, you make your money providing that execution part.
serving people. Yeah,
Right. And the more you serve, the better it gets. But on the other side too is whenever, you know, Ron and I've had multiple discussions about this, but whenever you meet with someone that has an idea and you're discussing it, a lot of times they're looking for validation in their idea. Is this a good idea? Is this not a good idea? And they spend a lot of time trying to convince us that they have the right idea. And quite honestly, the idea is not that important. It's good to have a great idea, but there's so many stupid, shitty ideas out there that have made millions of dollars that you can't judge the idea. It's actually the people behind it. And when I met with you two, I saw so many traits that you look for. I mean, there's a pattern of success. There's tenacity. There's thoughtfulness. There was no ego involved. I mean, this whole discussion, I mean, you two are both trying to give each other, you know, pats on the back and you're trying to tell, you know, maybe that was your idea. Those are little things that you look for in someone to work with that are all positives that let you know, okay. And so after we had our first few discussions in our communication, I knew you were the kind of people that I was looking for. I immediately, you know, knew I had to get involved because not only were you those people who can get this through, but also you have a great idea. So, you know, it was the unicorn. So, so we sat down, started, and that's the thing is that now you guys are learning new lessons. You know, that just because you do know the tactics, how to get it from here to here to here to here, this is the process that it's supposed to go through. You know that it doesn't work like that. You know that, man, there's decisions that are so important to be made that it's easy to make the wrong decision. There's so many unknowns. And also I want to hear you guys' story about, it's one thing to make a thing that has been made. It's a completely other when you're creating something new that's never been done before, is a total different experience. It's one thing to go and get things manufactured. It's another to go actually invent it, birth it, and get it manufactured is a totally different process. So I want to hear your take on the things that you were are still frustrated with, but also what are you happily surprised with? What is it that? So tell me what's still kicking our ass in this process.
It's the waiting. We sat with a design engineer, went over concepts. Some months went by. He got us some digital art, which looked amazing. We approved it. A few more months go by. We're almost to the prototyping stage. There's a couple things that went wrong, so we had to make a couple of changes there. That added more time, and it's just, the
self-doubt creeps in again when you got months going by and you feel like you haven't done anything. You wonder if what's the holdup? Have we stopped, or you don't?
Yeah, with our background, seamless rain gutter installers, you feel good at the end of the day when you made a whole pile of money and the work got done. But with this, it's like there's nothing we can do to speed up the design process and it getting made. There's just nothing we can do. So you lay in bed at night with this big dream, and it's all looking really good, but just nothing feels good because you didn't get anything done today. It doesn't feel like you got any closer to market. And so for me, that's the hard part, is there's nothing I can do to speed this along. It's just on someone else's plate right now. I can encourage them and offer help,
or pester them,
squeaky wheel. But it's just the weight game is tough right now.
Right. Another thing that you said, the idea of going from the ground up based on, as opposed to using something that's already out there. That's another aspect of this that we toiled with for a long time. So, what we had done so far was retrofitted a grill. The first one that we had was we just retrofitted a grill and put it on the tailgate. And there was quite a few weeks, maybe a few months, we thought that was the route we needed to go, that we just needed to make a deal with Brinkman or find somebody else's grill that we could retrofit. And maybe we were just going to be this niche, just this little part of the grill. But these are the things that got clarified once we started working with, you and Brad, and started getting the right idea, knowing that it is possible to design from the ground up and get something done, and things like that. But we went through we exhausted so many different ideas and thoughts and options for how to get this thing to market, whether it be, what did we design? An attachment method, or do we have to reinvent the grill? And that's sort of what we wound up having to do, because there's enough critical aspects of this thing, that we can't be burning down trucks. We can't be letting grease fly everywhere. We got to be able to be vertical. And so we're reinventing the grill. We had to start from the bottom.
Any other grill out there just won't survive the rough nature of living on a tailgate.
Yeah. So we've been all over.
When we got started, you think, a grill is a grill is a grill, but then you really start dissecting the common grills on the market, and you realize that this whole crowd has been following after a very poor leader, and their bar was set so low, in my opinion, that once we started tearing into this and really started throwing ideas out, and knowing that, hey, we're starting with a blank slate. Your ideas were new. Let's continue on that pathway and make sure that every part and element is thought out. And, let's not just accept status quo on the gas hookup. Let's not accept status quo on how the heat's distributed. Let's come up with what do we think is going to work best and how to do that. And that's been the fun process, but also one of the reasons why it keeps bumping out and out is because it just, whenever you make a change to something at this level, at this cellular level, one little change here affects the entire organism, and all of those things have to cascade, to accept it. And it's frustrating as hell, but it's also kind of fun.
Another thing I think was an important decision was, for all the turmoil that we had been through and all the little decisions that we had made to get the grill to the point where we did have that manufactured piece of equipment, and then we're finally dealing with Robo, and he's willing to work with us. He was willing to work with us via email and Skype and things like that. And then finally we needed to execute a contract of some kind, or like start interviewing design engineers. We started throwing out there, like to us, it was going to be too easy to lose in translation. Everything that we believed the grill was, everything that we believed our product would be and could be, we just didn't trust ourselves to be able to communicate it in emails and pictures and things like that. So I started pushing for, hey, we just need to come down. We just need to come down and show you this thing. Or, I thought we needed to actually get it.
Yeah, and everything was virtual and fine, but you said, yeah, no, I want to do this. And so, yeah, that was,
I want to meet with
you too, by the way.
Yeah, because I think it cranked up the seriousness of the pace and what we're, how serious we were about it. And then, so at first we were looking at flights and things like that, but then we thought, no, we need to bring this grill with us, and it's kind of too big and heavy to drag on. So kind of last minute, we had this appointment to meet with Rob and the design engineer, and we just decided to drive, and we hit the highway. Yeah. We hit the highway because we wanted to have the grill with us, and we hit the highway at 3:00 in the morning and pulled into Dallas-Fort Worth at 10 o'clock at night, and had a 8 o'clock morning or 8 o'clock meeting or something the next morning.
Oh. And it all
was over. But I can remember having these pivotal evenings, even in the last few months, where I've just had these moments of clarity and realizing that, and I lay in bed with my wife, staring at the ceiling and can't go to sleep, because it's become so clear to me that we've already changed our future, because we have changed such a paradigm. We have changed our association of people. And I said, we're going to sell a bunch of these grills. I said, but what's changed for us is actually much bigger than that. There's no going back. I'm never gonna just install gutters again. I've like the Pandora's box is open, and I can see inside, and we're going there, whether it's this product or the next product or whatever. But we're going to wind up associating with a successful group. I'm attending Baby Bathwater. This is just the trajectory we're on, and we're in the bottom of a bell curve, and it's going to be a steepy, and who knows how high it goes. But yeah, we're going there. We're going there, whether it's this grill or not, but we're going to the very top levels. This is interesting. I don't know why this like sticks in my mind or whatever, why this old man said this to me, but in 2007, I was selling roofs in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, and I'm sitting across the table from this old guy. He was probably 85 years old, and I'm selling him a roof, and he starts talking to me about some politics and things like that. We don't agree on politics or whatever. But by the time he had signed my contract and I was leaving the table, this is what he said to me. He said, "You know what, young man? You absolutely have the what did he say? He said, you have the makeup and you have what it takes to be in the very top echelon of society." I thought, well, thank you for saying that to me, but I don't know where it came from or why he said that, but I still remember. And I sort of probably even at that time, I probably believed it a little bit. You know what I mean? I probably thought that's who I was. It's probably why I was there. It's probably why I wasn't still working for my uncle back in Minot. Instead, I was taking all these risks. I'm in Wisconsin Rapids, and I'm moving my family all over the country, trying to learn to be the more of a top player in my industry or whatever. And yeah, and everything's always a stepping stone to me. But I'll never forget that guy saying that. I kind of almost want to go back and see if he's still alive and talk to him and tell him I think he might be right.
And before we get back to our story too, some of the transition I've seen here, and I've gone through this myself, is when you first come up with the idea and it's still in that discussion phase and you're talking about it, there's in your mind the monetary win is talked about a lot and is thought about a lot, and man, we can make a lot of money, and that's a big driving factor in the beginning is that you feel like this is an idea that can make you rich. Then you actually put on your big boy pants and start pursuing the idea. And now you guys are down the road, I don't know how, 4 plus years, but since January, really digging in and turned it on, went from dreamer to doer. That starts to fade away really quickly. You don't sit around and dream about your riches, and you start dreaming about better product. You start thinking of cooler ideas and accessories and customers that you're going to serve, and it kind of evolves to something better, healthier, and more real.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
How can we add value? That's what it becomes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. We don't wake up thinking, man, this is going to be a big bang kill. We wake up thinking, man, if we could just get that we just need that thing to be a little bit lower so it doesn't stick out, and you start to obsess about the quality and the functionality. So you guys bit the bullet. You guys drove down here. We met, like I said, it was fantastic. I really thought we had something in both of you guys for sure. And we started working together, and it went well. It was really a comfortable marriage. And so now we get started. We start, we got the drawings. We're into the actual prototyping phase, which, let's go ahead and share. This is kind of cool. So we are getting, the prototype is being made as we are recording this. I wonder if this is going to let me. Yeah, that is. The prototypes are being made. This is us. This is from that original meeting in Fort Worth, and us going through your prototype and dissecting it. I love this shot. This is the first time I saw it actually, in the back of a pickup truck, where it could be
and shingle. Yeah. That's a pretty authentic right there.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. And so, hang on, let me go. So then we took it from that stage, and this was the very first prototypes or first rendering conceptual drawings that we did. Still had the gator before we found out that was taken and couldn't use it. And the outer knobs, the different parts and elements, no side handles. But when we saw this, what did you guys think when you first saw this?
I was floored. I thought it was beautiful, and I was just more convinced than ever that, it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And I thought, if we just make it, people will buy it, people appreciate it, people will love it, just like we love our Yeti coolers. I thought, this is a nice thing, and if we make it, they will buy it. Just seemed that simple to me.
Yeah, I really thought Bradley just really stepped up and did a great job, and we did the natural version as well, trying to take a look at what that's going to look like. We still haven't decided what we're going to do there. This brought it all together. This was still the bigger, wider unit. This was too big and wide. This was going to weigh a gazillion pounds.
Yeah.
But it really demonstrated the actual use of it. This was our first leg lock designs that we still have patents on. We're not sure we're going to use them at this point, but some of the newer engineering drawings. So now we're in, this was the foot lock mechanism, showing how the foot is going to slide in and be held in place.
That's kind of hard to understand without video.
It really is. Bradley's video. Of course, we put that up there. We put the Bradley's video up.
Yeah.
But here is what we're really excited about. These are
Our parts.
Die cut bent parts for the original, or for the prototype number 1 of the mass market grill coming to us. These are photographs being sent from the factory of all the different parts. And what's really cool for me is seeing the parts and knowing where they go.
Yeah.
Knowing this is where the different air vent holes are going to be for the drip pan, the heat adjuster knobs,
Valves. Yeah.
valves, the burner covers, which, this is another discussion point is, we haven't been able to use hardly any off the shelf parts.
Right.
We pretty much custom make every part. There's our new air vent
For the hood.
for the hood. And so, that's kind of where we are, is getting the prototypes now. So we're getting excited because once we have the prototype, you guys will make another trip, or I'll make a trip up north. We'll figure out where we're going to meet, and then go over the prototype, make our final adjustments, and get our working prototype done.
And if it's close enough to what the actual product is going to be, then we're going to start doing media on it and creating marketing.
Yep. We're working on the marketing in the back end as we speak, but we're really going to get more aggressive on trying to get people involved and all that. So as a final, just for people who think this stuff is interesting, not only for the DRAGN Grill itself and where we're going with it, but what are some key points, things like budget, like money, funding, and what are some key points that you either were surprised at or wish you were more prepared for, or expectations that you give warnings about?
I'm not going to say anything was hidden from us, but there are just costs. There are just costs that kind of jump up at you and be like, oh, it's going to be an extra couple $1,000 for this, or extra couple $1,000 for that. And, for this being a side hustle, like it's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Funding is a pickle. And so, like if somebody wants to do something like this, not everybody's going to be in our position. We have like a mishmash of successful endeavors and unsuccessful endeavors, but a lot of what we've got going on has taken off as a result of mindset change and education that we've gotten in pursuit of success with our product. And whether it's books we read, conferences we go to, things like that, a lot of, I would say that we're benefiting greatly in our conventional business from the learning and pursuit of this side hustle.
Right.
And some of that is honestly what's making it possible for us to fund the things that we got going on. Now, I would never tell somebody that they can't get something done. Not everybody's going to be able to get it done the way we have been able to. Like and maybe it's not the best way. I don't even know. We've just flat out written a lot of checks. Yeah. And I've sold my house and put my whole, all my home equity, basically my life savings, into our startup account here and things like that.
That sounds crazy. It was one of his extra houses.
Well, it wasn't an extra house until I bought a different house.
Right. He didn't just place his family to
but it's significant. It's it's
major risk.
Yeah, everything we're pulling out the stop. So, and that isn't the way that probably everybody should do it. I've got a lot of confidence in my ability to recoup that, even if everything went to hell. I could recoup, the 70 grand or whatever. We're probably $100 grand deep into this thing. By the time we're done spending this month.
Yeah, by the time we get through prototyping and everything like that, yeah, we'll probably be 100.
Yeah,
and so that's sobering because we hadn't thought about that very much until just now. But that sounds significant. So, but anybody that would want to get to the point where we're at, you can do it. I mean, but it takes, just like it was hard to write some of these checks or whatever. It took some grit, took some tenacity, took some
self-belief.
Some belief in yourself and things like that. For somebody that doesn't have access to their funds, those kinds of funds in their own bank accounts and things like that, that just creates another avenue, another activity, another piece of work that you need to do. You either need to go earn it, or you need to go sell your idea to a partner, or somebody that can help you fundraise. And I've been successful at borrowing money before from people that just have confidence in my productivity. Really, that's the only, I've been able to borrow incredible amounts of money, basically with the only, just on the promise of my effort and productivity. And so that gave me a lot of confidence. So we haven't had to do it yet, but I see it coming down the pike. That's something that we're going to be talking about soon. We're going to need money before we get this thing, into a Home Depot store.
Yeah, and part of that was, I gave you that advice early on, is try to take this as far as you can, without the outside capital, because it becomes more valuable every step we're able to take on our own, and we're all putting a lot of sweat equity into this as well. A lot of work that just to keep it moving and get things built.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, I take away from, no matter how many projects you work on, one of the biggest problems is expectations, making sure that they're set right. We've had that transition of expectations over communication, making sure everything's transparent, everybody be open. That's really important. And preparation, having the funds to get going and everything. That I think that a lot of people don't really realize that each phase costs a certain amount of money. Just getting a patent done, and then getting the conceptual drawings done, and then getting the prototype done. Those are all costs that accumulate, and you still haven't even.
Do we have a bill from him? We got to pay a bill.
But I forgot about that one. A couple more $1,000.
Yeah, there's another one.
And you haven't even got a product to sell yet. We actually have to make the initial PO, which will be the biggest chunk of all. So, but every step that you go through, you're actually building value along the way, and you have something. We could literally shut this video off, turn around and go get capital. Somebody would give us seed capital at this point, and not really take it in the shorts, because of where we are. We've put a lot of work behind us. But yeah, so this is incredible, and I wanted to make sure we told this story, and want to let the Dragon clan hear about it. And it's a fun story, and like we said, we've been told 10 days on the prototype, but we know that's probably not going to happen.
Sometimes that means
30 days. Yeah. Triple it.
Yeah.
Or 60.
Yeah.
Triple it just to be safe.
Just to be safe. But it's been a fun journey, and you guys have been amazing to work with. I've had a lot of fun. So I can't wait till we're actually have a pickup truck, a truck with full of the boxes, brand new products, and we're on the road, and we wheel into Austin, Texas, and drop that tailgate down and go to selling grills in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I think absolutely. It's
door-to-door sales.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, you guys have a great day, and we'll circle back around either later today or tomorrow and do our status update.
All right.
Good. Thanks, Robo.
Thanks, Robo.
Guys, take care.